All right, we're here with head women's soccer coach John Cullen. John, it's time to announce the 2018 schedule. Just looking at the overall schedule, what are your first impressions?
Always excited about a new schedule. We always try and put something, a little bit of a mixture in there. Some rivalries, some new opponents, some teams that will prepare us well for conference season, and obviously then the usual conference opponents. So it's got a nice variety to it. Some teams that we haven't played for a couple of years, like Longwood and Liberty. So some opponents that we haven't seen for a considerable amount of time. And then we've got some games against the likes of ECU, Elon, VCU and Georgia that have been very close contests in the past, 1-goal, 2-1, that kind of thing. So they'll be very good sort of prep games for conference season, being very close battles. So we're excited about what we've got in front of our group, and obviously excited very shortly to get the 2018 season started.
Let's talk about that non-conference schedule a little bit. You stay mostly in the Carolina region, play a lot of teams here, but a couple schools in Virginia, one down in Georgia. How do you plan your non-conference schedule when you have so many opponents in the area?
Well, we try and look at a couple of things. We look at the success of their team, opponent that we're playing against in their own conference, so that they've had good RPI. We look at an opponent that will be a good style of play, and we also look at an opponent to sort of look at their style of play that we may see something similar in conference. It's always good to win games comfortably, but the ideal preparation would be to have a lot of close, tight battles. And so we've picked opponents that, like I said in the past, the results have been very tight, 2-1 affairs, 1-0 affairs, not a lot in it. And those are the kind of games that, if you learn to win, it improves your mentality. It helps you in your preparation for the conference portion of the season. So win after opponents that would be similar in stature and size and style of play to a lot of our conference teams.
Two of those non-conference schools you've never played before in this program, Longwood and Akron. Do you know anything about them at this point? I know it's quite early.
A little bit. I mean, obviously, when we look at opponents, we look at the success of their program in previous seasons, and both of them have had, good conference seasons and done well in their own regular season league, and that's important to us. It's kind of, looking at the stature of a team and how well they've done in their own, so to speak, conference, and if they've done well, then we want to play them because we know that's going to help us, nationally in terms of our program and where we are. But don't know as much about them. We'll probably try and find out a little bit about them as we get closer to the date. Obviously, front end of the season, it's difficult to get scout reports on teams. Most college programs don't share scout reports on preseason opponents, so we'll be playing them very early with very little knowledge. So we'll have to look at film from last year and see if we can learn some tendencies and habits. But obviously, again, like any season, any teams, they'll have some new ideas that we've got to learn on the night.
Let's shift our focus to Conference USA. Regular season's always competitive, top to bottom, one of the toughest sports around. What do you foresee for the league this year, 2018?
Very challenging schedule for us. We start off with Rice at home. Probably going to be preseason poll favourites in our poll. Regular season champions last year, went to the NCAAs. We were fortunate enough to get a good result against him in the tournament and advance. But a nationally ranked opponent last year, great way to challenge our start of our conference season. And we have a favourable schedule in September in the fact that we've got more home games and less travel. I think we've got 4 out of 5 at home. And but then obviously on the flip side of that, October is a very difficult schedule for us in that, I think we're only at home for 1 game in the month of October. So we're going to have to be very good on the road. We're going to have to learn to travel and prepare well and do all the things that's important to a college team when you're traveling and playing games away. But when you look at October and on the back end and 1 home game in the entire month, we know how difficult that month of the season is going to be. So difficult conference schedule as we talked about, but there's no easy games and they're all tough, and we expect that whether you're playing preseason number 1 or preseason number 14.
You talked about opening up with Rice, but it's just one of 4 straight to open the conference season at home. Teams played well at home the last couple of years. Actually, throughout the history of this program, it's played really well at home. How important is it for the program to use those games as a catapult into the rest of the conference season and start off well?
Well, you always want to get some momentum. You always want to be able to get as many points on the board as quickly as possible. Last year, we didn't get as many points in the back end of the regular season conference schedule, and we just got into the tournament. But obviously, when we got there, we did particularly well to get to the final. But it's a nervous thing if you're going into the last month of the season with not a lot of points. So our aim is, and hopefully we'll get some momentum. We'll accumulate some points at home. We'll hopefully put us in a good position, and then the test and the challenge will be to go on the road and get points. That's something we've got to get better at as a team and as a program. Like you said, we're very good at home and we play a good brand of soccer, and we've been very positive. But we've got to transfer that mentality on the road and find ways to win close games, or find ways to win games that have to be won. So it's unique challenges. It's like you said, it's a very, very difficult conference. This sport really has a lot of parity into it. We've got teams that get in as a number 8 seed, a number 6 seed, as we've done in the past, have won it and been to the final. So just goes to show how difficult it is and how important every game will be.
You talked about this a little bit already, but just one home game in October. UAB, a program that you haven't seen for a couple of years, and then the team closes with 3 straight on the road, including the long road trip out to Texas. Just talk about it. What kind of schedule that sets up as heading into the conference tournament and later in the year?
Well, yeah, UAB are under new leadership. Erica has done a great job there. I thought she was one of the outstanding coaches last year, the way she turned that program around. And we saw them at the conference tournament. We didn't actually play them, but we saw them play, and you could see that they've implemented her style of play, and very, very good team. So excited to play somebody different, obviously. We've played a lot of the same opponents for the last few years, and it's good to see something different. And obviously then the Texas trip is always a difficult one. The challenges of time zone, the challenges of distance that you got to overcome. But they're 2 opponents that we've played now last couple of seasons, so a little bit more familiarity with each other. And then ODU, it's our travel partner, always a tough game, whether it's home or away. And the nice thing for our team is, if we go there and we're successful, hopefully we're there the following week for the tournament, and we've had a chance to experience ODU towards the back end of the year, which was nice. It's always nice to go to a conference tournament site and haven't played there. That would be a real benefit for us.
All right, John, sounds like a great 2018 schedule. Any final thoughts you want to give?
Well, look forward to it as always. Every season has its own challenges, always a new excitement for the players when they arrive, and we look forward to the fans coming out. Niner Nation comes out in great numbers, and thank you for them support in the past, and we look forward to support in the upcoming season. And this year's our 25th anniversary of the soccer program, so looking forward to celebrating that with a lot of former teammates and players here. Thanks.
All right, John. Congratulations on putting together a well schedule, and we'll see everybody in August.
Sounds great. Thank you, Travis.